Super Spike V-Ball is actually an arcade port in a sense of US Championship Beach Volleyball, which was developed by Taito. Like most NES ports, the game is radically different from its arcade counterpart and really comes into its own on Nintendo's little gray box. One of the standout features of Super Spike was that it was one of the few 4-player titles on the NES and made use of the NES multi-tap. You'll have 3 different modes to choose from at the title screen. There's Exercise Mode, which is basically just a quick match with a relaxed difficulty. Then there's American Circuit, where you'll take on 5 different teams while set on a more average difficulty. Finally, there's World Cup Mode, which is a V-Ball tournament against 7 teams from all over the world and is quite a bit tougher than the other 2 modes. Another noteworthy feature in the NES version is the ability to select your teams, which you couldn't do in the arcade. You'll have the choice between George and Murphy, Al and John, Billy and Jimmy, and Ed and Michael. Why anyone would ever want to pick anything aside from the Double Dragon team is beyond me. Super Spike works like you would think a volleyball game would work. You have various button presses assigned to things like serving, returning, jumping, and defending. To the untrained eye, this may not seem terribly exciting, but there are some pretty excellent advanced techniques to try out, primarily the Super Spike. You can pull off a Super Spike by taking the set from your teammate, and then while jumping, hit the B button fast to power up. You'll notice your character's hands start to glow, and then hit A to dish out some punishment to the poor saps on the other side. Super Spikes can be defended, but most of the time you'll end up plastering the ball right into the face of your opponent and send them flying across the court. Graphics in Super Spike look great, with nice-sized character sprites, lots of detail, and bright, colorful backgrounds. That famous techno-spraying flicker isn't really much of an issue here, and isn't nearly as distracting as it was in Super Dodgeball or in River City Ransom. The Super Spikes look awesome, and the big kaboom that's spelled out on the screen looks great when watching your opponent take one right to the forehead. We all know you can't have a Technos game without fantastic music, and Super Spike has some of the best music they've ever done for the NES. It's right up there with Double Dragon and Super Dodgeball. The sound effects are thumping and energetic, and I love how the crowd cheers after each point is scored. The controls in Super Spike work pretty well. Everything feels tight and responsive and won't slow you down at all on your way to V-Ball dominance. My only issue with the control scheme is that at times I feel like the A and B button assignments should be reversed, with B as hit and A as jump, which would feel more natural, especially after spending so much time with Super Dodgeball, as I'm sure many of you did too. It looks great, sounds great, and plays great. And most of all, it's just plain fun.